Good afternoon, everyone. I am Arun and I am from Pernod, Ricard. So, first of all, thank you for giving this opportunity to moderate this session. And I think this is a very cleverly, scheduled session because I think you just had lunch and everybody's sleepy. And I'm sure this will be a very, very interesting discussion that what we are going to have now. And we have all the respected leaders from the industry. So, if you don't mind, I would like to stand and I would like to talk to you. So we will start off with Mr. Kuldeep. Mr. Kuldeep, the geopolitical tensions that what's going on around the world, and even it is starting today in our country as well, the recent development. So with this geopolitical tensions driving, and they attract more targeted attacks in all the critical infrastructure. So, what specific OT security measures should organizations prioritize?
Yeah, that's a great question. And in fact, irrespective of the geopolitical tensions as well, I would say that OT sector is a little, it generally lags behind the IT sector. Not to say that it is bad or something because of the circumstances.
Of course.
My priorities, I would say that first of all, there is a asset discovery that is generally missing or lacking in case of OT infrastructure. Reason being, it is a huge infra that OT is having, right? And many times there are many assets that are having a very, very long lifespan, and the teams may lose sight of those assets in between.
Right.
Somebody is taking some assets out, somebody is putting some assets in. So for that, some kind of automated discovery is very, very essential.
Right.
Because physically it is not possible to have. So there are several solutions that can be put into the place, and that can help us create an inventory. That is a live inventory, dynamic inventory. Now going further from there, I would say the next priority would be to have a look at the legacy infrastructures. Why? Because in process industry, you will always find the lifespan of 20-25 years, right? So you would be having those setups. So there, once you have that visibility into the assets, you need to have a proper vulnerability audit mechanism, right? Okay. So you know that, okay, what kind of vulnerabilities are already crept in, whether you can patch them or not, right? That is a later case, but another way for virtual patching or something that needs to be there. So that is the third priority, I would say. And now going further, there is a kind of baselining that is very much needed.
Right.
So asset discovery tools can help in building that. Otherwise, you should have a baselining where you can understand the processes that are built in, and based on that, you can understand anomalies. That detection also should come with the help of AI and ML and other tools. Then, with all this, I would say the next is the awareness. Now, in OT industry, the cyber security is not generally that well thought out, right?
True.
Because the triad is inverse,
yes,
right? Availability, integrity, and then confidentiality. So that awareness needs to be built in, not only in terms of understanding of the compliance part, because that is very highly regulated now.
Exactly.
We are having CA guidelines, we are having NCIPC guidelines. Certain has also come up with very, latest guidelines in 2022 only.
Yes.
We are having a draft regulation that is in public phase as of now. Maybe somewhere it will come. DPDP is already there. In OT, I don't think that much impact it will have. But even then, we need to have a grip of all the compliances that we need to have. Then the standards. It may be NUC for power industry, it may be ISO 27001 or 27018 in cloud and all.
Right.
But these standards also need to be complied. So for that also a proper security awareness is necessary.
Right. So what I hear is you're talking about the asset visibility and the maybe like passive monitoring tools, which gives you the entire visibility, what's happening, where they are talking to and all that. So staying on the topic, I would like to move to Dr. Jagannath Sahoo. Sir, on this topic, what do you think? How segmentation will help, or do you have any other thoughts on this? Any additional thoughts?
I'll tell you. There are three types of geopolitical situations happening now, right? One is Russia, Ukraine. One is America.
Right.
And recently one more is this.
That's
this
unfortunate,
case,
yes.
okay?
But yes.
This is very recent case, okay? And somehow OT is the weakest sometime because a lot of legacy system is there. Awareness is very less, as you covered. There is no focus on OT. We will get a lot of IT expert. OT expert is very limited. Okay,
Right.
so we need to focus more on the OT because whatever previous attack, if you learning, we got it from Tata Power attack or Israel
Yes.
attack. Okay, where hacker threatened today I have shut down your power system. Tomorrow I'll shut down your internet system. Like this threat
Yes.
they have done also.
Exactly.
So here network segmentation is very critical. Very critical. At least you can isolate some part of your, if attack is not 100%, some part of attack you can control. Similarly, if you are putting proactively IPS, IDS, at least you can monitor what is the threat is coming, detection is coming, prevention or detection, whatever is there. And we should do real-time monitoring also for all anomaly detections. Real-time monitoring, I don't know how many people have integrated IT SOC, OT SOC. There is a lot of debate. There should be separate SOC for OT or IT, or my suggestion, you should have one SOC
Yes.
for IT, OT for correlations.
Yes.
These are the things we should focus. Multi-factor authentications, one point also we should focus, and zero trust model adoptions in OT.
Of
So
course.
people are adopting zero trust model adoption in IT, but same thing be adopted in zero trust. Physical security, one was very critical. I have had a case, one person in Gujarat, he was bypassing security and he was entering into one plant. He did it for 45 days. After 45 days, people identified the person was coming and he was taking couple of data, couple of skates, couple of things. After 45, it is real story. After 45, they came to know, they handed over to police. So somehow we are missing the physical security. Even if now, if you see in OT system also, people will be having food there. So if you, food there, all the things, physical security also most critical.
Yeah.
Now OT system all support from out of India. Some OEM are different place. So secure remote access, which is most critical also.
Exactly.
So there are a lot of solution is coming for secure remote access. So you will find VNC many softwares they will get installed in the systems. Okay, that you can restrict through application access also. And physical security I have covered. Supply chain risk, those vendors, are you doing third-party assessment? Because if supply chain is broken, then security is broken, you are also broken. So like this, overall, last 2 points, overall IL plan, and most critical is threat intel. If you have proper threat intel also, then you can protect your OT system. Keeping in the geopolitical situation, we should be proactively work. We don't know tomorrow situation what will happen. Tomorrow, if something is happening between India and Pakistan, suddenly many attacks will start. That may happen. So we have to be very careful. This is very critical time. We have to be very careful.
True, sure. Thank you, Dr. Sahoo, for your inputs. So to summarize the inputs, what we got from you are, number one is we need to have the visibility, and whatever assets we have, we should have some zero trust protection applied. We don't give access to anyone, and by default, we don't trust anyone. That's the basic definition. And then we need to have some secured remote access. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, one more most critical, I missed it. That is, we should do drill also. In IT, drill, cyber drill.
Yes, of course.
Okay,
Of course.
CSPM, cyber security posture assessment.
Yes.
You should do drill because we do drill for IT, we do disaster recovery for IT, we do drill for the building evacuation, everything. But sometimes we must OT drill. Very rarely we do it. Okay. That is also one more point I missed it. We need to add it here.
Right. I really liked when you picked up your mic again.
Yeah.
This is a very interesting topic. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sahoo, for your inputs. I would like to move to Mr. Aditya. Sir, what strategies do you recommend for addressing the cybersecurity skills gap for managing the integrated IT and OT systems? Because we have very less skills available specifically for IT OT segment. So what are your thoughts on that, sir?
So thanks, Arun, and good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me here. The skill gap is an industry phenomenon when we look at the cybersecurity, and that actually it increases manifold when it comes to OT side of it. So I think before we start talking about how do we really handle the skill part of it, I'll just share some of the practical insights from my own experience. I think we understand few facts. Within IT/OT, there are typically two teams involved. One is plant.
Yes.
Another is IT. And the matter of fact is, they both don't understand the other subject, in much details. So the IT or a cyber security guy won't understand how the plant functions, how the protocol functions, etc., etc. And then typically that the OT guy won't understand, or the plant guy won't understand. The second factor is how you design your skill plan or the roadmap is. I always say there are, and many of us who are working on the OT side of it probably will agree with me, there are 4 stages of OT implementation or OT maturity within an organization. And this is not a Gartner term, right? So this is something which I think it works. First thing is indifference, right? So when the IT team starts speaking about cyber, at least not so much with not so mature organization, there is always an indifference saying we have been doing it for ages, what are you talking about?
Right.
Right?
Of course.
The second thing is appreciation. That after some time or for whatever reason, they start appreciating, no, this is good what you are doing, but you should do it, right? Don't ask me, but keep doing. And the third thing is collaboration. The collaboration is where they both understand and they start working together. And that is probably at this moment looks like probably the ideal scenario. And the fourth one is where the plant team starts taking ownership. So whoever has worked on OT probably will somewhere within these 4 stages we would be. Then how the skill plan will be worked out depending upon where do we stand today. The another fact which I would like to highlight here is we are not looking to create experts. So I'm not looking to create cyber security guy experts in how OT functions and the vice versa. So your skill plan needs to reflect upon that necessity. So effectively, coming back to the skill part of it, there are 3 players which I would consider because as I said, few resources, all are overworked, security team is overworked,
Exactly.
We are short of staff, plant team is actually more overworked, because they have to, so they do not have time, right? And at times you won't even have budget to have someone, specifically coming for it. So what I have seen is probably the collaboration have 3 people in this overall scheme.
Right.
One is the plant, another is information security guy, and the third one is the partner ecosystem.
Okay. Yeah.
You have them in.
Makes sense.
While you may try certain training program, but I think over a work or doing certain projects, that the skill is imparted into these various stakeholders. They start working on them, and then they start building appreciation and understanding of what each other are doing so that they are collaborated, and they are, right? Then there are different tools and technology, etc., etc. That is something of great length we can speak. But mota, this is where I do believe that skill thing is going when we talk about IT, OT security experts.
Right. Thank you so much for your input. So what I hear is the cross-functional collaboration that we talked about, that we should be doing, and then some skills development and getting some additional partner. So I'll move to you, Mr. Mohammed Kaishulla. On the same topic, what are your thoughts? How can we bridge the skills gap?
So much more input has been given by the sir. So in my view, human is always a critical, and critical resource is always needed to run the show.
Yes.
And the way technology is moving, it is not possible to have all resource onboarded. So in my view, some internal policies, we have to frame internal policies in such a way the existing resource can be promoted and can be upgraded. By bridging the IT and OT people, bridging course, and promote internally they do the certification, so that large number of the resource which is internally available, they can be utilized. We have to make a policy in such a way, we have to make a cyber security apprenticeship. How to attract the resource? See, all company cannot attract the resource which is very highly skill set. They need a resource which required for them as per their requirement. So the less experienced resource in the form of apprenticeship, they can onboard in their organization and train them, groom them, so that they can fill the gap of the resource which required. And another way of bridging the gap is collaboration with the vendor. See, the vendor basically purpose is to manage the OT security. So what are the higher skill set which is not required for the 365 days? We can onboard a vendor and have a collaboration with them as and when we required, we can bridge the gap as per our requirement. And third, internally, we have to create a cyber security awareness. Because actual requirement, the gap arises because lack of knowledge. So if we train the people, if you train the internal people, they must aware what they have to do, what they not have to do, and it is a part of the first level of defensive they can act upon. So internal campaigning, make them aware, that is a critical. The more and more people aware, we are more and more and very risk prompted. So people should be aware how they should act. In the case of disaster, what they have to do or what they have to make the policies in such a way people are aware if case anything happened. This is the clear-cut policy, what we have to do.
Right.
And finally, in my view, if you incorporate AI, because AI is a very good tool nowadays for the real-time monitoring, AI will help to reduce the manpower errors, give pre-alert messages so that the team available, they can react on it and do the necessary action.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. So what I hear from you is that you talk about the policy, strengthening the policy and making everybody aware about the cyber security. And the good thing that I get from you is that we need to do some kind of drills as well. That's what you said. Yes, some exercises when, the kind of playbooks, we make playbooks for the people that, in case if this happens, what you have to do, like this step 1, step 2, contact cyber security or whatever, like what we do for phishing emails generally, in our organizations. So that's a good point. Thank you so much, sir. So I'm sorry, Mr. Rajan, to keep you waiting for so long. I'm so sorry. So we'll move to you. So I will ask you a question that I'm sure everybody here will have that in mind. I mean, whosoever is working on OT security. We are in 2025, but if we go to the plants, we still see Windows 98, we still see Windows XP. There are so many legacy systems. There are PLCs connected to some machine. That was obsolete somewhere in, I don't know when. And there are no firmware upgrades and there are no patch upgrades. So there are a lot of legacy systems still exist in our environment. So what do you think, what is the best way to protect such our environment from such devices where we don't get any firmware or patch upgrades?
Okay, thank you, Arun, and hello everyone, good afternoon. So as you all aware, the question is how we update the legacy systems. And the legacy systems, are the OT systems in any company from the starting and today as well.
Yes.
So legacy systems, ideally OT systems were never built for security. If you know, OT systems were built for production, scalability and everything. Security was always never a thought of decision by the manufacturers of the OT systems. And are the players as well. The people who are operating these systems, they don't know what is security, neither they want to know. So what I think is, as all the gentlemen have said, physical security, virtual patching. Virtual patching plays a very important role in case the legacy system is there. What is the virtual patching is? You deploy an IPS, okay? You cannot patch the system, maybe Windows 98, no patch is coming, nothing, you cannot do anything, but still you want to run the system.
Yes.
Also, there can be roadmap with the OEMs who have produced it or to change the system. Plus, physical security is also a part. One of the most important and critical part is in OT security, if you really want to deep dive is, OT security comes in zones. You have to define the complete network in zones.
Yes.
And then it starts from your SCADA and PLC layer. One is the physical layer, then is your PLC layer, zone 1.
Right.
Then zone 2, zone 3, where zone 3 and zone 4, where the IT system converge with the OT systems. And then these are connected via conduits. Okay, what is conduit? Conduit can be a firewall. Conduit can be any connecting device, which is connecting those physical layers or physical devices. And the more micro segmentation you can do, the best you can achieve to the systems, plus skill awareness, plus education, and a risk-driven approach. The first and foremost, where every company you can create the awareness, you have to drive a top-down approach.
Yes.
Only then people will start listening you.
Right.
Probably a live example from my previous manufacturing segment from Honda is how we drove it. We showed the risk, but how the production can go down. In any production environment, there's a morning meeting in any company where people report the production losses, and you have to report, and where you drive the risk to the board level, and then you let them know if this comes in, then this loss will be there, and then everybody will start working.
Yes.
And give the ownership and onus to plant heads, not to IT teams. IT is not the one, they can create awareness, they can implement teams, they can implement tools and anything, but they cannot be the owner of everything. Because then you will not achieve the goal. Because what happens is people on the plants or the line systems, they will call their own vendors and you will not get to know, they will connect to internet and all. So you have to stop all the entry points. Do not give internet, implement jump servers or Clarity and Dragos, everything you know. Scanning, as the gentleman has told, you scan the network with Clarity, Dragos, and even the Fortinet and other OEMs have come up with a good approach where the segmentation and micro-segmentation is done wonderfully in the OT systems.
Okay, good.
So that's my point of view. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, please. I would like to ask you a question on the same. So what I hear is, number one is that virtual patching that you talked about, and secondly about assignment of ownership. That is a very good point. Until unless plant heads they are not the owners, there won't be any, plants, because plants does not behave the way the corporate offices work. So they are different way of working. So that's a very good point. We have to make them accountable for their own security. But there's one interesting part that you said, sir, about virtual patching. So can you just elaborate on virtual patching? What can we do, or how that can be? Some points on this.
Sir, virtual patching is simply like if I cannot patch a system, like suppose your Windows 98 system, then I have to patch another system, or probably stop or the entry points which is going to the affected system. Like I can introduce an IPS. Okay, any connection, and my IPS is protecting or stopping all the connections which is going to the affected device or vulnerable device.
Right.
Okay. So there way all the entry points and all the communication to that particular device is being watched, and it cannot be allowed until unless you explicitly allowed via your authorization and authentication mechanisms.
Of course. Thank you. Fine. So it's something like, when we block the protocols, we don't allow every traffic, just do the protocol whitelisting and micro-segmentation, etc.
So there I would like to add one more thing is, probably people add the legacy approach or the earlier approach. I will say you put firewalls, you put VPNs and all that. So that is obsolete nowadays with respect to OT systems as well.
Yes.
Okay. Now you have to come up with a zero trust approach, maybe ZTNA and the principles you need to bring in. And only then you will be having a holistic security approach for the OT system, because the IT-OT convergence is today's demand. The analytics, and people want to see the data of these SCADA systems, what is the monitoring and what is the output. And it is where a lot of analytics is being done on the cloud. Then when you open ports, you call for the risk. When you open machines, all the ports and everything, then you call for the risk. And the people entering, especially the vendors who are coming to these systems and connect their USB devices to get the problem sorted in the OT systems, are one of the problem areas. So I implemented a system probably in my last manufacturing, which was a jump server, and Cloros was the tool I used, in which the vendor was never allowed to connect to the OT system directly. Okay, they have to connect to a hop system. From there, the connection was built, and then the virtual connection was built to the OT system.
Okay.
So that was being watched, and probably it was very well checked for issues and everything. Only then the connection was allowed.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your inputs. I would like to move to Dr. Yeah, of course, sir. Of course.
Can I add one point?
Yes, of course.
I think, Rajan spoke about lots of stuff, very, very critical. I think one of the pieces which I also see is around USB. USB is a genuine concern with the OT part, and the plant team has lots of genuine reasons to allow access to USB. Okay, so be it to take certain data, be it to put in certain data, be it for some support, etc., etc.
Right.
So I think it's very important to look at the USB as well. Probably try to have a USB kiosk within it, right? By which you are able to control and govern what kind of USBs are coming into within your setup. right? So I thought this could be another piece which might be helpful.
Before you ask a question, I'll tell you one thing. Virtual patching. What is the virtual patching?
Yeah.
यहाँ पे बाल नहीं आ रहा है, right? आपने एक wig लगा दिया, वही virtual patching में, right?
Right. That's a very nice way to.
This is not a very good example actually.
No, somebody asked me in training session, what is virtual patching? मैं बोला आपका बाल उठने वाला नहीं है, आप तो change करने वाले नहीं हो, मुझे तो उसको cover करना है, तो wig लगा दो.
Yeah, that's true. So that's a very interesting take on this topic, virtual patching. I'll use it somewhere in my office, by the way. I'll speak to someone. Okay, so staying with you, Dr. Sahoo. See, we know, OT security, we are talking about it, and people are very, now they are becoming aware on this. But at the same time, we have to be, be mindful that we have to talk about the operational efficiency as well. So, how can companies balance OT security with the need for real-time operational efficiency, sir?
Yeah, operational efficiency is very critical because as we mentioned, instead of CIA, availability is very critical here. The triad got changed, okay, in OT. End of the day, operational efficiency is required because if plant doesn't run, there will be loss, okay?
Of course.
So legacy, again, everybody told legacy will still continue. We cannot do anything.
Yeah.
So the only option is we have to still safeguard, right? So how will safeguard? We should create separate DM chat. We should separate microsegmentation that we mentioned. Virtual patching is already mentioned. That is point number 2. We can do it, and restrict the data flow. Restrict the data flow from critical element data flow. Use more and more AI for putting dashboards. Train on more OT aware threat. More tabletop accesses, more drill, all these things. Like this way we can safeguard. There is another way because legacy is still going to continue, asset inventory is still going to, all the issues is going to continue. We are not going out to this issue. Block all new ports. I'm talking about TCP/IP ports. Even if block the USB, in our environment we have blocked the USB. There is a seal coming in Amazon. There is it's coming. You can block the seal. You can seal the USB port. So USB port is not required in all the system. Only one system you allow that. You monitor that. Rest all the system we have made a plastic seal is coming. You will get it in Amazon. We push that. So nobody can use it because daytime you can monitor. Nighttime you can monitor what they are doing. Okay. People are very clever. Okay. Generally, the OT system is coming to Wi-Fi. One is motherboard Wi-Fi is coming, another Wi-Fi is coming. They will mirror the mobile and they will watch movie at night also. It happens.
Yes.
I have seen in the case. Reality case, it is happening like this.
That is the ground reality. So
ground reality. So we have sealed all the systems. Even if from BIOS we have blocked the onboard Wi-Fi also. So like this, we cannot go away to situation. So we have to put strict control. Particularly, I designed 31 controls for all these OT systems because there is no other way. Strict control for 31. Somebody will do all checklist also. Tick, 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 one, everything is done. Not. So like this, we have to do all these things. Restrict the physical access. We have already mentioned. Okay, backup regularly and keep it in offline storage. That is most critical because most of the OT. Many OT have not moved to cloud also. As of now, very OT system has moved to cloud. So backup it regularly and keep it offline, not in same premises in other plant or other places or admin building. Keep it like this. Right. Use jump server nowadays. Jump server. Somebody mentioned also jump server to be used. Use jump server so that they will not have direct access to anything and they will go via somebody else.
Jump servers and proxies, application-based proxies maybe.
Secure remote access, jump servers. These are the solutions we have to do and follow the regulatory guidelines. Whether it is certain guidelines, will be, as you mentioned, will not applicable that much, but there is a CA guidelines which has come from for the many other industries, not for manufacturing exactly, but when RE is coming, when many other industries coming, CA guidelines, there are 14 guidelines is there. Okay, 14 guidelines there which follow the guidelines, try to implement ISO 27001, IC 62443. Like this, you have to manage. That is
Sure. Sir, there's a very unpopular thought now. See, we are implementing OT security everywhere, and OT people are learning the IT systems as firewalls and switches. So there have been instances I'm hearing, and where they make some changes and the firewall goes down, the production is down for 1 hour, 2 hours. So what do you think about this? A very unpopular, people don't like it, especially in OT, that we have to deploy OT change management. So what I thought, can this improve the operational efficiency if we deploy OT change management, or it is just an additional hub, or we should be careful with it?
See, as Aditya mentioned, the tug of war always happens. Okay. So what is happening now? One plant guy is running his operations, and we are training them security. जैसे हम driver को बोल रहे हैं seat belt पहनो, right?
Okay.
Right? We are telling driver to wear the seat belt. वो driver बोल रहा है मैं इतना दिन से गाड़ी चला रहा हूँ, तुम मुझे क्या सिखा रहे हो? So that is always it happens. Change management is a big challenge. The only way you have to create policy, and any change they should go through policy, and they should take till plant level, plant head level approval, because ultimate who is responsible? The plant operation head is responsible. So change management is the must. Any small changes. Any small changes, they should inform at least. Even if they should inform. At least we will able to. If there is any downtime, we can link to that.
Of course.
So change management is must, and OT policy is the must. Just like IT security policy, OT security policy is the must.
Sure, sure. So thank you. So, sir, what I hear is the change management. Yes, I mean you are in favor of it. People don't like it, but yes, we have to have it so that we can have more operational efficiency. So thank you so much, sir. I would like to move to you, sir, Mr. Mohammed Kaishulla. We talked about, Mr. Kuldeep talked about AI and ML earlier. So I would like to ask your opinion on this. So what role do you think AI automation play in strengthening the OT security monitoring and threat detection capabilities?
So I talk about the human resource gap. So AI is one of the tool where we can use as a IT OT security. Many of the things which are repetitive in nature,
right,
where we can use the AI OT. For example, for the real-time monitoring. So through OT, millions of data are transmitted from the various machine, and for human it is not possible to go through each and every line. So there should be a mechanism. If you use AI, which goes deep into the lines, read the data, and give you the real-time monitoring. Another example of using the AI is predictive analysis.
Right.
So how to use as a prediction? We have a historical data with us. There needs someone who analyze the data, correlate with the history, what happened, and give you the analytic. This, boss, this is going to happen. Be alert. So AI is the tool where you can use it for the predictive analysis. As I said, many things which are repetitive, and when you come in morning, you see the checklist is there, we can tick, tick, tick. So there is a chance of error.
Of course.
Such things can be eliminated by using the AI. AI is the very good example to do the monitoring and of the repeated things and alert you, which is sometime human error can cause a mistake, can cause a huge loss to the company. So in this area, we can use the AI and we build an additional layer of security over and above what we have the manpower. So this could be a better case for the AI in the
Right.
OT security.
Right, right. Yeah.
Yes, today we talk about AI a lot.
Yes.
Okay, implement AI, may it be
Of course.
predictive, may it be anything. But still we forget our basics. Okay. And then people implement tools, maybe they implement firewalls, they implement out-of-the-box security systems, all the tools. But the configuration is not correct, due to which all the flaws happen.
Of course.
Because you don't your systems up to their potential.
Yes.
Even if you enable, I've seen systems, even your basic firewalls are not configured properly. And then we talk about, because the management will simply ask you, we have given you so many budget, then again there is an incident.
Yes.
So it's the basic mistakes. I think you should first stick with your basics, have the correct inventory. That is the first and foremost thing, because you cannot protect anything unless you know what you want to protect.
Of course.
So you should know what you want to protect, and only then you will be able to take the measures.
Right.
Maybe, and the AI/ML, what I think is how is AI is helping us a lot is because in OT we don't have manpower, especially if I compare it to the IT segment. So there, the analysis, the job, the stopping and everything, I really think AI would be help me out, and probably if I want to control the risk, if I configure it properly, because then my job is done, I don't require more manpower.
Of course.
And then many of the things, because even if the skill upgradation and everything can happen, I can leverage AI to catch the defects and catch the issues earlier, then they convert into an incident. Thank you.
It is just like, that's a very good point that you said. I've seen, people, they implement, all next generation firewalls and what they do is put the rule is any. Now there is a multi-lakh firewall is there and there's an any rule there.
I know there is always a pressure on all the teams, maybe it IT, maybe OT and anything. You just implement. Management will say, by tomorrow everything should be closed. So, wow, how the wonders can be done in an early stage or in 2 days, all security, because everyone loves their job, to be very honest, and they want to show everything is closed. So, in a hurry, in a mess, they miss a lot of things. The configuration is not done correctly, and I've seen it in my 23 years of experience. That is the fact being stated. People say it openly or they don't say it openly. But you ask the administrators once. They will tell you the truth. Or even in any of the company, you can check how many checks you have done. People protect their external part very well. Wherever you are exposed to internet, you do VAPTs, you do external scanning, you do SaaS-based products. But whatever internal is happening, your insider threats. The line guy, opened it by mistake. Okay, he called up a vendor and put up a USB, put up another system or change the password or some insight. He didn't have knowledge. What would impact or how it would impact? They shared the password. They use very common passwords. And they will share it with anyone without any issue. So the basics and whatever we are doing in IT system, we just implement that in OT. I'll say everything would be done.
Of course. Yes, Dr. Sahoo, you were trying to say.
I was telling, first put AI, again security डालो, AI के ऊपर again security डालो, put security on AI also. So that happens also. So now people have moved to robotic systems. Many plants it is operated through robots. I was giving a speech on robotic security. Robotic security, what is robotic security? Robot and human working together, robotic security, okay. So through AI we can fetch up a lot of analytics data which will get it from robots. Okay, if the robot is integrated with analytical systems, a lot of historical data, people use history and all these things. So AI is the must. There is no issue, no, because now every plant moving to robots, AI is the must because we'll get a lot of inputs from there. For predictive analysis, for any downtime, everything predictive things we'll get it.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Sahoo. I would like to stay with you. I'll give you my mic. Somebody mentioned about zero threat. Zero trust play about in implementation in OT environment. So what role does zero trust play in protecting IT/OT environments, and what do you think that it can be implemented properly?
Yeah, thanks, Arun. Yeah, zero trust is the need of the hour. Maybe when you come to OT systems, the traditional approach works on layer 3, okay, when you put in your firewalls, your VPNs and all. Now, bringing in ZTNA or any zero trust approach, you move up the layers and you move up to the application layer, how the access can be controlled or till the user is granting or you want to grant a control or access to the user or a machine or any connection. So, zero trust simply in simple words from me is you talk about authorization and authentication. Okay, and then authorization and authentication, introducing authorization and authentication to every connection is zero trust. So it can be granular, it can be you implement any Fortinet, starting with microsegmentation and then implementing your OT tools like Dragos and all. They come with the nowadays architecture and combining with Zscaler, combining it with other ZTNA tools, and then they are giving you solutions to control the authorization, authentication up to application level. So, because the traditional approach of VPN and firewalls no longer works for an attack to happen. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. We have still some time left, so I would like to ask you, Mr. Kuldeep. We talk about OT security, we implement it, and then when we talk about ROI, it's just not about cost savings. So beyond cost savings, what metrics maybe like downtime reduction or incident response time best prove the ROI of any OT cybersecurity investment?
So I would say interesting question. You have opened it nicely always. It is not about the cost. I mean, whenever we are talking about cybersecurity, it may be in IT or OT. Obviously, the first parameter that comes to the mind in the mind of top management is
Right.
cost benefit analysis. But when we are talking about security, and when you have started this discussion with geopolitical
Yeah.
tensions, quote. So this is about safety. This is about national security now. We are talking about critical information infrastructure. All of us who are sitting here probably in this room are running some kind of that infrastructure which can bring down the entire nation to its knees, right? So let's probably start thinking up from that perspective, number one. So coming to the point, let's suppose if you are implementing security in OT space.
Right.
So MTTD and MTTR, right? These are the mean time to respond, mean time to detect,
course.
right? These are the things that are already in place. So yes, it may be useful to have these kind of indices built into the OT systems as well. A much more practical approach I would like to mention is let's suppose if you are getting audits done,
Right.
what kind of critical, high, medium vulnerabilities
Makes
you are
sense.
getting, if the number is reducing over time or not. Because the kind of technologies you have implemented, how better integrated they are with the other solutions, that will in fact bring down these instances, because
Right.
you have detected early on that this is the issue and you have patched it,
Right.
Then that will not come. That is the second part. Third thing I would say, which is very important, the reputation and the confidence of the organization.
Yes.
So if you have not had any particular incident which is not known to outside people, even internally, I mean, you are confident this hasn't happened. So that number of incidents, how many incidents have actually happened, and in what stage you have actually detected and blocked that. That is also very, very important, and that shows to go on that goes on to show the maturity of the organization, right?
Okay.
What kind of, or how much time basically they have been there in your infrastructure before being detected.
Right,
So
right.
that is
Yeah. So you talked about the maybe the comparison of previous data, how much time we used to take to detect and to respond, and then the kind of audit findings that we used to have now. What are the audit findings, if there are any?
Yeah,
if we are
one,
able
one
to
more
close.
thing, I mean, compliance.
Compliance,
Right.
okay.
So because compliance have major penalties, right? And penalties not only in terms of cost, it may be in terms of different kind of orders from
Yes,
the
of course.
government, right? So if you are very successful in that area also, that also goes on to say a lot about ROI on this.
Yes, of course, because I think this is very important for people to know, because it's not only about cost, it's about other parameters also. That, because cost may still go up high, but there are other parameters to justify that. That is very, very important.
And at
the
the
key
end, I would
metrics.
say, I mean, there is a feeling, right? We all are here in a fight against, nation-state actors as well, not so friendly.
Of course.
So if we are performing well, we are doing good, there is a sense of accomplishment that also goes on to, say, sense of achievement in our job. So
Right.
that is also one of the things I would
Right.
say is
Thank you,
important.
thank you.
I want to add one more thing. It is not about reputation. It is not about anything. If you are listed company, one more thing is coming. That is SEBI.
SEBI,
Share
oh.
value. If tomorrow share value is getting
Compliance, that
down.
is compliance only.
Share value is getting down. Share compliance is different. Okay? Compliance you need to pay penalty. But if share value is getting down due to some attack, then tomorrow it will be big issue.
Yes, very correct. And probably as Kuldeep said, the critical infrastructure. Yes, as we are coming from the power sector. So anything goes down, so complete nation would be down. So, and always security is, talking ROI in security, I don't think so. No boards ask like this now, because they have also matured. It is insurance. They understand it very clearly, and we have to invest in it. There is no option, because one incident don't happen on daily basis, because no systems are too much open access or probably so bad implementations. But one risk, one incident will still be in ages. You talk about any OT attacks or any OT issue, it is still known and examples are given. Your plants are down for days. And one ransomware attack will lead you something else, may it revenue loss, may it be critical infrastructure for the nation or anything. Thank you.
One last thing I would
Yeah, of course.
So in case of IT cybersecurity incidents, right? Generally, I mean, in case of OT, what is more important, that human lives are at stake also. So that is much more important than the money that is involved, reputation, anything. Loss of human lives is the ultimate thing that can go bad, wrong
Right.
with any nation. So that is one of the ROIs
Of
that you can
course,
say.
of course. Thank you so much. I think this was a very interesting topic. Everybody took part. So I would like to close we have very few time left, very few minutes left. So Mr. Aditya, I mean, how can organizations strengthen governance and reporting around security, OT cyber security to meet the regulatory or any board level expectations? So just quickly, your thoughts on this, sir.
Sure. So I think Kuldeep spoke about the compliance part of it. My fellow panelists also spoke about, right? So I think, no, so first thing, when we talk about the reporting to the board or to the compliance committee, right? So it could be dual-edged sword also. Because as I said earlier, who is driving it, right? If IT is trying to drive alone, then probably you are not going to meet lots of deadlines, okay? Yes. So what I would suggest, the practical part is, there are legacy systems, lots of controls cannot be built now. So probably to have that, first thing is, what is our strategic alignment with the board before we are going to report? What are we going to report? So that will basically be driven by our strategic goal, OT security strategic goal with the business, number one. Number two, divide that reporting into two. The brownfield projects, which are typical legacy projects because you won't be able to do lots of things there, and the greenfield projects. So divide them into two because greenfield is something which you can show good results overall, right? And in the totality part of it, right? And the last thing is, now the time is up, who owns it? So typically IT owns it, but get the scheme of business people into the game so that you both are driving together. That's the piece. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you so much, respected panelists, for your inputs. So to summarize for everyone, we talked about the OT skills enhancement. We have to do the cross collaboration. The ownership has to be shared. It cannot be only with IT. It has to be shared with OT and the operations and manufacturing teams. And then we have to align our the board and set their expectations right. So thank you so much for your time. I think that's all. I would like to just request Ashwini. Yep. Do we have any questions for Amit? Yeah, we can take one question. Yeah. So if there are any questions from the audience, I think we have some time. So yeah, if anybody has any questions to our esteemed panelists on the discussion just we had. Yeah.
Mic did.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, it's coming. We can hear you. But we can hear you. You can basically try.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically my question is about in plants there are many isolated systems, there are isolated segmented networks. How can we protect those kind of networks and systems which are not connected to any network, not connected to any internet or let's say anything at all? So how can we safeguard those kind of networks and systems which are also legacy and in some cases not even legacy? But safeguarding them is also something which we should be focusing on.
So I'll just take a shot and friends can add on to it, right? So when we say it's not connected, I guess what we are saying it's not connected to IT network.
Correct.
Not connected to IT. So the IT-OT convergence part is there, but just see if it is connected to internet for certain remote access. Certain isolated network will be connected because OEM partners will be accessing it for the support part of it. So we spoke about remote access control. The second piece is that certain for internal maintenance, data transfer, etc. USB is another thing which will impact even the isolated network also. So we spoke about setting up certain control and governance on USB, maybe USB kiosk or something. So that also needs to be taken care, right? And the third thing is, I think we spoke about the change management also.
Yep.
So whatever it is, any uncontrolled change will impact, whether it is connected to internet or IT or not, right? So at least 2-3 things it came to my mind.
Yeah. So the remote access, you're talking about the secure remote access where we have like multi-factor authentications and the recordings and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay,
One thing I would like to add, it will basically depend on the maturity of the organization. But these kind of isolated systems also, you need to sometimes see what is going on in there. So there may be a data diode kind of connectivity where you may share that logs to a central SIEM, right? And from there you can do that correlation from where you can find out, okay, if anything is going wrong, at least you'll know, but there will not be any way in. It should be a data diode, so that is, it is a unidirectional data diode facility.
Okay.
That is what you
Thank
can
you.
do.
Thank you.